Have you ever stared at a super dense 50-page research paper and thought, how on earth am I going to turn this into a video anyone would actually watch? It feels impossible, right? Well, today I'm going to show you the 4-step playbook that makes it not just possible, but honestly, pretty simple. Okay, so this is what we're starting with, an academic paper. And yeah, it's packed with some incredible insights, but let's be real, it's also a total nightmare to read. It's just full of jargon, it's dense, and it is pretty much guaranteed to put you to sleep. For most creators, this is a dead end. But for us, this is where the fun begins. How do we take that and transform it into a sharp, shareable, maybe even viral video? Don't worry, I'm going to give you the exact 4-step playbook to get it done. So here's the game plan. We're going to find the hook, build a narrative, inject some watchability, and then close the loop. Let's get into it. The biggest challenge is just cutting through all that academic fog to find one simple, powerful idea. We're basically looking for the human story that's hiding in all that data. All right, first up, plane number 1, find the hook. This is where we put on our translator hats and turn all that academic speak into something that everybody gets, instantly. Okay, just look at this sentence. Unit effect, temporal focus theories, group buying participation intentions. It's technically accurate, but is it catchy? No way. This is exactly the kind of thing that makes people click away. So the key is to translate. Temporal focus theory, that's really just thinking about now versus later. See, we're just turning that academic jargon into plain old human language. And right there, in that translation, that's where we find our hook. So we've got our hook. Now it's time for play number 2. Build the narrative. This is where we take that one core idea and spin it into a story that is just impossible to forget. The big idea in this paper is something called the unit effect, and it's a really weird quirk in our brains. Basically, we get fixated on a number, and we kind of ignore what that number is actually measuring. A bigger number just feels more significant, even if it's logically the exact same. Let's see how this works. Say you see an online deal with this timer on it. 5 days left. Okay, makes sense. Now, what if you saw this instead? 120 hours left. It's the exact same amount of time, right? But does it feel the same? So I'm asking you, which one feels more urgent? Which one makes your fingers start twitching over that Buy Now button? Is it 5 days? Or is it 120 hours? Well, the research is crystal clear on this. That countdown in days consistently makes people want to buy more. And it's because the smaller number, 5, makes the deadline feel closer, more immediate, and way more urgent. So here's the whole secret. Using days, what the researchers call a contracted scale, it tricks our brains. We think time is shorter, it pulls our focus right into the present moment, and that makes us way more impulsive and ready to act right now. Okay, so we've got our story. But how do we make it so good that people can't skip it? That brings us to play number 3, inject watchability. This is all about using little surprises and pattern interrupts to keep your audience glued to the screen. And there are some really simple ways to do this. You can drop in a quick poll, kind of like what I just did a second ago. You could create a pause and choose moment, but my absolute favorite, revealing a surprising twist that's hidden in the data. For example, our story about the countdown timers, well, it's not over. Because the research found that this unit effect, this little psychological trick, is especially powerful on one very specific type of person. And I bet you won't guess who it is. It's skeptical customers. That's right, the people who are the most suspicious of marketing are actually the most susceptible to this trick. But why? That seems totally backward, right? Well, think about it. Skeptics, they want to do their homework. They want to check reviews, compare prices. But when that deadline feels super close, like 5 days, it creates this time pressure that just short-circuits their analytical brain. It forces a fast, gut-level decision instead. And that little insight brings us perfectly to our final play. Close the loop. A great explainer doesn't just fade out, it gives a clear, satisfying summary that helps all this information really stick. So, after going through all that, what is the one big takeaway for any creator trying to turn dense research into some killer content? Here it is, the whole playbook boiled down. Number 1, find the human hook hiding in the jargon. 2, build a simple story with the core data. 3, inject surprising twists to keep it super watchable. And 4, close the loop with a really clear takeaway.
And now you don't just know what that 5 days left is way more powerful than 120 hours left, but you actually get the psychological why behind it all.
And this is just one example of the kind of marketing psychology we all see every single day. So I'll leave you with this question. What's the most clever psychological trick you've fallen for in an online ad? Let me know in the comments below.